Okay. I'm just doing a couple songs today just because I'm tired. Still don't feel the best, but better than last week. At least I can talk this week. Alright, I'm gonna risk doing a Tom MacDonald. I've seen this thumbnail pop up everywhere and I'm like, it's creepy, but I'm so curious. Oh, and you can skip the lyric review. Let's do this side that time. Because it's probably gonna be a really long lyric review. Tom MacDonald and BTS tend to... yeah, especially Tom MacDonald. I mean, seriously. Because he says so many things that I am thinking. Let's see. Truth is politicized. Let's see. Don't know who's controlling you. You have to find out who you're not allowed to criticize, because I've noticed that you can only criticize certain people. Otherwise, you get called out for everything. See, this line, black folks who are never actual slaves with white folks who are not Nazis. Like, this is the past, people. Like, we're not them. Like, I just hate that. Controlled by rich folks. Elites control the politicals, trying to burn down the cities and kill each other, defund the police, so there's big crime, and then everybody's trying to deny it. I saw that New York mayor. No, there's not. Well, a couple of New York, a couple of leaders in New York being like, "Oh, there's no violence." Yet you see all these videos and. Yeah. Anyway, it's just ridiculous. Take order freedom. Turn men into women. Counterculture. Change pronouns. If gender is victim, so it's privilege. I know. So I was gonna say, I know poor white folks and black celebrities. That's what I always think. I always think that. I'm like, but if. I'm like, I know not all white people are rich. Take me, for example. And I'm like, there's a lot of rich minorities. Like, I could go through a bunch, but I'm like, get on my soapbox here. Lack of information. Propaganda, yeah. Can't have peace we're on the same team. We're glued to the screens, just part of a machine. Hollywood rotting your brain. I know, like most of Hollywood. There are some actors and actresses that are like making sense nowadays, but. And then I've never heard. Well, I've heard lit, but then like a lot of people say lit. I've never heard fleek or bet. I've heard cap. Trying to dumb you down. I don't know how it's dumbing you down, but I mean, it's just slang, but I don't know. I probably sound dumb using it though because I'm old. No cap. Yes, they endorse whatever's popular. Use minorities in movies for diversity. Like, they're not just using them because they want to use them. They're like, hey, you're the best for this role. I like this. They're like, okay, we need one of these and one of these and one of these. Otherwise, I'm just like, I don't know. Two sides on the spectrum, but none of them are honest. Red pill, blue pill. Spit them both into the garbage. I will say blue pill more than the red pill. There are some super crazy red people, red Republicans out there, but and I know I use this as an example. I think like every single time I do a Tom MacDonald song, I always mention Gutfeld show. I was curious what they would be like when like a lot of the midterms had been counted, and it wasn't the red wave that, you know, everybody thought it was going to be. And I just thought the way they took that and the way they accepted that and the things that they said about it were very, what's a good word? Mature? Like there was no rioting, there was no burning cities down. It was just like, you know what? That's what the people voted for. You know, if you can catch any of those episodes right after the midterm, you should. It's very... But anyway, okay, woke used to mean you understood you're a target. Two good legs, never taking a step forward. People who are just not doing anything. And I say this all the time. I'm like, well, it's like if you agree with these people, then it's like free speech, like you're okay. But if you disagree, like you're, hate speech. You're racist, you're a bigot, you're, you know, all these other words that have been thrown around that I'm getting really sick of. It can't be except mainstream. Yep, if it's not mainstream, it's not true. Trump supporters labeled as racist, but they can't be. I know Lincoln was Republican, and that's who ended slavery. I've seen a lot of arguments that, well, you know, he didn't go into it, you know, that wasn't the main point of the Civil War. I'm like, I actually looked into it, and like, while ending, it wasn't like the main point. They just wanted like to bring the Union back together, really. But let me see if I can get this right. They wanted to, there was a certain law they wanted to pass that gave slaves their freedom if they, I think if they moved to the north or something, I don't know, but it was going to kind of push the South, the southern states into, you know, making slaves free. Although they kind of turned around and made their own law and were like, no. But then Civil War came around and like the actual, and they're like, okay, you know what? And then they just threw it out there and we're like, okay, now we're actually gonna fight for this, because that's gonna be... Does that make any sense? I don't think I made any sense. I'm like, it's like in my head because I read it and I was like, oh, so that's how it came around. So I'm like, it might not have been the only reason for the Civil War, but it was a reason, one way or another. Sorry. Science politicized. Greed. Society's broke. Addicted to pornography, liquor, and pharmaceuticals. It was a sad thing the other day. Somebody was posted. It's on this language site that I'm on. I'm like, they're like, okay, well, what's a red flag for you, for a significant other, you know, in deciding? And I put somebody who watches pornography. And the response, and this is from another country, they're like, well, don't all men watch pornography? Like, what's wrong with that? Like, do you even... I'm like, no, not all men watch it. Real men don't. That's what I say anyway. But I'm like, that stuff destroys everything. And I have proof of it. And I was like, that's a really sad outlook. Like, to think that's just normal. Okay, anyway, sorry. Tell you're fat and poor and not beautiful, but they loved you when you're at your funeral. If they can't convince you, they're going to confuse you. Dumb or dead. Yep. Divided by race, religion, income, sex. I'm like, they'll find more. There's going to be more division. Right or left. I'm like, if the other side likes oxygen, they put a bag on your head. Misinformation. I hate that word. Hate it. The terrifying truth scares the nation. I can, yeah. System treating you like trash. And you got rifles to aim. Imagine how they treat you when your guns get confiscated. I'm like, there was a reason they put that in the Constitution. George Orwell, 1984 was his last lecture. George called them thought police. Now we call them fact checkers. I hear a lot about 1984. That's like a book, right? I've seen people. I'm like, I really need to get into that and see what it is. Surveillance, mass incarceration. No, they're letting them out. If we're not doing nothing wrong, nothing to hide. While they're all classified, yeah. Don't teach you rights in school. They're easy to remove if you don't know what they are. You compose, they force you into the corner till you're breaking the law. Can't be free. Yeah, okay. Oh dear. So how long did I take doing that? 11 minutes, not too bad. I really wanted to go off on that. And I apologize for my explaining, especially that Civil War part. I'm like, oh. I have these great ideas and these great thoughts in my head, and I like look things up so I can like know, but then when I try to explain it, maybe that's why I'm not a teacher too. Not just the patience issue, I just explaining things to people. Yeah. Anyway, let's check this one out. See, that's just kind of like they have you hooked up and they're just feeding you.
Humans been controlled since the day that they were civilized. The truth has been so heavily politicized. If you don't know who's controlling you and killing all the little guys, find out who you're not allowed to criticize. Black folks who were never ever actual slaves, fighting with white folks who ain't actual Nazis. Controlled by rich folks who use the news to make hate, while elite folks control other political parties. It's a big lie, trying to make you pick sides, trying to make you burn the cities down and kill each other. They got sick minds. Big lies, keep on the police so that there's big crime. To take away our freedom, to restore order they let die. Play with people, turn men into women, make the counterculture mainstream to mix up the system. Change the pronouns, the gender is a spectrum, so is privilege. I know poor white folks and black celebrities with millions. They starve you with a lack of information and only give you facts through a branded corporation. Distort your worldview with an algorithm that changes based on propaganda curated for your engagement. We can't be free, can't have no peace till...
Okay, before this chorus gets in there, I'm like, that eye reminds me of the Eye of Sauron. I know I'm a nerd. I'm like, I mean, that would kind of be a really good visual. I'm like, just these higher ups just looking down on you, just waiting to catch you. That would be, I mean, I don't think that's what it is, but that's what it reminds me of. That would be cool though.
We're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue to screens, just part of the machine. Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? My sheep. Nothing's what it seems. Hollywood been rotting your brain, controlling your mouth. You say lit, fleek, bet, cap, they trying to dumb you down. They endorse whatever narrative is popular to shout, and use minorities in movies for diversity clout. Two sides on the spectrum, but ain't none of them honest. Took the red pill and the blue pill, spit them both in the garbage. Being woke used to mean you understood you're a target, and now it's having two good legs and never taking a step forward. If you agree it's free speech, disagree it's hate speech. Erase it if it came from anywhere except the mainstream. Trump supporters labeled as the racist, but that can't be. Lincoln was Republican, and that's who ended slavery. Science been politicized, it's easy to see. A mask became a symbol of which side you believe, but you'll never cure a sickness till you cure the greed, because the problem with our natural immunity is it's free. Society is broken, want you locked inside a cubicle, addicted to pornography, liquor, and pharmaceuticals. Tell you that you're fat and poor and you were never beautiful, then tweet how much they love you when they hear about your funeral. We can't
That Lincoln part went by and I kind of cringed inside. thinking about my explanation. Out of curiosity, he's talking about addiction to like drugs and alcohol and pornography and stuff. I'm like, does he not drink or anything? Or I'm assuming he doesn't do drugs. He doesn't seem like he would be the kind of person to, but curious. Okay, keep going.
You were never beautiful, then tweet how much they love you when they hear about your funeral. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Glued to screens, just part of the machine. Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? Oh, my sheep. Nothing's what it seems. If they can't convince you, they confuse you. They want you dumb and dead. They divided you by race, religion, income, and sex. Made everybody right and left. The hatred got so intense. If the other side likes oxygen, you'll put a bag on your head. And the conspiracy theories labeled as misinformation is just a terrifying truth that scares the hell out the nation. The system treating you like trash and you got rifles to aim with. Just imagine how they'll treat you when your guns get confiscated. George Orwell, 1984 was his last lecture. George called them thought police, now we call them fact checkers. Government surveillance trying to catch you, they don't ask questions. Mass incarceration equals capital for cash investors. The system isn't broke, it's working fine. Oppressive and chaotic is how it was designed. They say if we ain't doing nothing wrong, there's nothing to hide. While their agenda and intelligence completely classified. They don't teach your rights in school, you never learn them at all. Cause they're easy to remove if you don't know what they are. The only people you can rule are the criminal ones. So they force you into corners till you're breaking the law. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Glued to screens, just part of the machine. Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? Oh, my sheep. Nothing's what it seems.
Nice. I like that one too. I liked the kind of the faster beat that was going on there. And I love low voices anyway, but the chorus where they go down lower, or the sheeple part, I really like that. All right. So that was Tom MacDonald and Sheeple. I know I don't do these very often just because I do run my mouth off. I get long-winded. It's just all the things that I'm thinking, all the things that I say to like the people closest to me, around me, that like we're all thinking the same thing, and to finally have somebody just saying it, yeah. He's probably, I'm surprised he's not totally canceled, but I think he's not as big as he should be, just because people are trying to kind of like cover it up, hide it, be like, oh, don't listen to him, he's crazy, you know, like, because he's talking common sense. But yeah, that's that. In God We Trust, Tom MacDonald, Adam Calhoun. Well, that looks interesting. Anybody know what that is? So anyway, another good one. I'm loving these so far. Yeah, definitely gonna have to go take some more medicine here soon. Sorry guys, my hair's a mess. I was taking a nap before I did this, and I was like, oh, I gotta do a reaction. Now my hair's a mess, and now I really look sick and yucky. And okay, anyway. So comment and like and subscribe. Come see me on my social media. Send something to the P.O. box, which I actually got a little bit of extra money in my last paycheck, so I actually opened it up again. I think it's 6 months again. You can send something. Doesn't have to be anything huge. You can send requests, whatever. Other than that, I think that's all I got for this, which is enough because it's like 20 minutes now. So see everybody next time.